We get a lot of questions about rinsing recyclables before putting them into the recycling cart. Do I have to wash them out? Rinse them. How clean do they have to be? The answer is you don't have to rinse, and you especially don't have to get your recyclables squeaky clean. The recycling industry has advanced to the point that you no longer need to get your items so clean. But you should not have a lot of food residue in your recyclables either. So what to do? Clean out your container by using all of the contents. For example, once you've eaten all your yogurt, your container is clean enough to throw into the cart. Here's a good simple guideline. If you can turn your container upside down and nothing drips out, it's clean enough. This works for margarine tubs too. Use up the contents in a normal fashion and you'll be fine. Of course, there are exceptions to rules. An obvious one is peanut butter. With most peanut butters, you could turn your container upside down and nothing would come out. So remember the spirit of the rule. Use up all the food in the container should be clean enough to recycle. Film plastics are accepted in your blue recycling cart. What, you might ask, are film plastics? Film plastics include bread bags, dry cleaning bags, Ziploc bags, bubble wrap, cereal bags, even though they're a bit crinkly, unlike the other accepted film plastic, and even merchandise bags. But of course, we don't have too many of those, do we? Since we're bringing our reusable bags when we go shopping, right? To recycle these items, you'll want to place them all in a bag, preferably a clear bag, and secure the top. Then place them in your blue recycling cart. You need to bag your bags because they will have to be pulled off the sort line when they get to the recycle center. Film plastic gets caught in the sorting machinery, wrapping around the mechanisms and causing everything to shut down until it can be cut out. If they're bagged together, sorters can see them and pull them off the line. That's why they'd like them in clear bags, so it's easier for them to see and they don't think somebody just threw their bag of garbage into the recycling. The types of plastic that are not acceptable are crinkly bags and film plastics that are contaminated with food, like this Go-Gurt. Paper cups are actually a point of confusion for many people. They are not recyclable. That's because any paper item that's meant to hold liquid or food has a coating on it that prevents leaking, but is unacceptable for paper recyclers. So here are your options. First, it's best to use a reusable mug. It not only creates less waste, but you'll also save some money, and most places give you a discount for using your own mug. Second, if you have a paper cup, you can compost it. The cup goes into the compost bin, then the sleeve and the plastic lid can go into the recycling. And finally, if you're not a place that has composting, residents in single-family homes do not have compostables collection service at this time. Your cup is garbage, but your sleeve and lid can be recycled. The world of plastic is definitely confusing. For a start, there are many different types of plastic. For a general guide, take a look at the triangle of arrows, usually on the bottom of a container. In the middle, you'll see a number from 1 to 7. That number indicates different resin types, but those are just starting points for materials. Depending upon what the plastic is supposed to do and what it's going to contain, fillers are added to the base resin to help its performance. Our program accepts most types of plastics: bottles, containers, and rigid plastics. Rigid plastics means all sorts of other types of materials, such as broken car parts, laundry baskets, flower pots, and even bottle caps and container lids. You no longer need to see a number on your plastic to be able to recycle it. However, there are still a few types of plastic we do not accept. Expanded polystyrene, commonly known as styrofoam, whether it be a food container or packaging blocks. Although it's technically possible to recycle styrofoam, there are no viable, cost-effective markets currently available for this material. A real problem for the recycling industry is products made from multiple materials. They're made from different types of materials that are fused together. For example, milk and juice cartons are plastic-coated paper. Aseptic containers, some soy milk, soup, and broth come in these containers, are made of plastic, paper, and metal fused together. Some candy wrappers are paper on the outside and metal on the inside. Even chip bags and granola bar wrappers are fused materials. While they may look metallic and you may think they can be recycled, they're actually metal fused with plastic. Once these materials are layered and fused together, it's virtually impossible to recycle them. While some of these items are technically recyclable, it's just not cost-effective to include them in our program at this time. Here's an exception. Milk and juice cartons, while they cannot be recycled, can be composted in the Compostables Collection Program. But residents in single-family homes do not have Compostables collection service at this time. First and foremost, if your electronics are still working and usable, donate them. Please don't place them in your blue recycling cart. But if they're broken and ready to be recycled, they are now accepted and you can put them in there. In fact, all electronic items are accepted. Anything with a chip. You can even recycle your floppy disks. You cannot put in CDs, DVDs, computer monitors, or TVs. If your electronic item is too big to fit in your cart, you can take it to the recycling center on Embarcadero Road, where Goodwill will accept it for recycling. Another option is to schedule a cleanup day by calling Green Waste at 493-4894, and you can place items at the curb. It's pretty obvious that restaurants and cafeterias can really use Compostables collection service. But did you realize that most other businesses can too? Even offices. A few things to look for. Washroom paper towels. Paper towels can be a substantial part of your office's waste and are easy to divert to the compost bin. Paper coffee cups. Although many have a thin plastic liner, Green Waste accepts them in the compost program. Paper and compostable plastic takeout containers. Set up a compost bin in the break room to collect these containers. Many beige, light brown, or even clear disposable containers, cups, and utensils appear to be plastic, but are actually made of corn or potato starch. Check to see if they're labeled compostable first. The likelihood of your having some of these containers is high, since Palo Alto has banned polystyrene takeout containers. Food soiled paper. This includes paper towels and napkins from lunches and handy wipes or paper towels used for cleaning. Leftover food. Food scraps from lunches, meetings, and corporate events are all compost. Are any of these in your office? If so, compostable service is available.